How we doing, boys and girls? Manthis in. Welcome back to another video. So yeah, by the title and by the thumbnail, I'm done. Game over. Not necessarily, not for the whole part. It was a bit of a clickbait there. I do apologise for that, but I'm done with legendaries. The legendary game for me now is basically drawn to its natural conclusion. I'm not going to be totally out forever and a day, but what I am going to stop doing is I'm going to stop buying materials, I'm going to stop crafting legendaries, and I'm going to sell off my stock. And there's a couple of reasons behind why I'm doing this, and I think some of those may very easily translate to you guys, so I wanted to talk about it for a few minutes today. First and foremost, the main reason is a time commitment thing. The only way to sustainably sell the amount of legendaries that I'm trying to sell on a day-by-day basis right now is to literally camp the auction house. You guys who've watched my stream have seen that I've been doing this for a good few hours each and every day to generate the sales that I have done, because there's now with enough competition, if your item is not the first in the queue to sell when somebody comes to the auction house to buy that item, you're basically not going to sell anything, let's put it that way. Now this is not true for all servers. You may have more or less competition on yours, but there's about 4 or 5 relatively active goblins on my realm right now, and it's got to the point where, yeah, you're either auction house PvPing or you're not making sales. There's not really anything in between that. Now it's a bit of a boring game to play. Now I don't mind doing it when the gold is good, but this brings me on to the second reason to why I'm kind of exiting out of the legendary game for a little period of time, and it's simply because the material prices are dropping so heavily in price right now. Last week we did a video about what the hell's happening to Heavy Callous Hide, and we predicted, or should I say I predicted in that video, that Heavy Callous Hide would hit 1,000 gold within a few days, and that is exactly what has happened. I logged on this morning to find for the first time Callous Hide. When I search on the auction house, you can buy Callous Hide for 100, so 10 of them is 1,000. Heavy Callous Hide was slightly below 1,000 gold yesterday as well. The material prices are dropping pretty dramatically, and what this means is operating legendaries at the scale that I've been trying to operate it at is kind of risky. I've gone with a sort of a Walmart approach to legendaries. Craft one of everything, list one of everything, only sell what sells at a profit. The difficulty with this, though, is that my inventory is rather large. Having one of every single legendary crafted and ready to sell on the auction house is kind of expensive. If you do the maths on it, at least on current market prices, it's way in excess of 3 million gold, probably close to 4 million gold, just to have one of every legendary crafted. Now, with materials dropping in price by, let's say, 10% nearly every single day, that 3 million, maybe 4 million gold that I've got tied up in inventory for every single day that I'm not actively sat on the auction house selling stuff, I'm potentially losing 300,000 gold. Now when you have millions and millions of gold, that's not a huge concern, but I mean, I still had to spend that gold to make those items in the first place. So a good example is Sunday this week. I wanted to just basically take the day off, and I basically did. I posted my auctions in the morning, left them there, came back in the evening, and basically nothing had sold. And that was really the trigger for me to say, right, well, at this point I just need to liquidate my stock, and I need to basically close the doors to my store for a little while. This does not mean I'm quitting World of Warcraft, nor does this mean I'm quitting gold making. It just means I'm going to turn my focus to other places. For me, the thing I've always enjoyed about crafting was the simple fact that you could craft your items, you could list your items, and then you could go do something else. Farming is a huge time commitment, because for every second you're not killing mobs and not skinning mobs, you're just not making any gold. Crafting always had the opposite effect, that you could spend some of the gold you've already made buying the materials, spend a small period of time crafting, and then list things, and hey presto, the hope there is that you come back to a mailbox full of gold. The time commitment is too large for me, and this kind of brings me on to point number 3 to why I'm out of the legendary game for a little while. I'm bored selling legendaries. God's honest truth. I've made a whole bunch of gold now. I'm virtually gold capped on this account. And it comes to the point to where, whilst making more gold is nice, I want to go play the rest of the game. I want to start progressing properly on my main account. I want to start going out there and actually playing the game properly. I would like to actually get some of my alts, some gear, and even more so, I'd kind of like to spend a bit of time playing other games. We are now in a period of Shadowlands where the big hype of the launch is kind of drawn to a close, especially for me at least. We're 8 weeks into the expansion launch now. Most people who want to have cleared most of the content that they want to clear. Maybe your guilds might still be raiding on a occasional basis, but at least for the most part, most of people's progression is kind of come to a close, and we're in this sort of downtime, I guess we could say, until patch 9.1. So yeah, that's my reasonings for exiting the legendary game right now. This doesn't mean I'm never going to craft and sell legendaries again, but what it does mean is I'm going to wait until the materials kind of balance back out again. They've been astronomically high in value for quite a while now. The material prices are going to drop and they'll hit, there's not necessarily a price floor for materials, but they will sort of come down to a point and they'll start to tail back off, and we'll see a more normal value. My prediction for heavy callous hide is it's going to sit at around the 400 to 500 gold mark, and that will kind of be not the floor price but a relatively stable price for the materials. And when it gets back to that point, then it's considerably less risky for me to craft a whole bunch of stuff, because I don't need to sell it as quickly. Right now, if I don't churn through 70-80% of my inventory every single day, I actually end up losing a lot of gold, which is a crazy situation to be in. But yeah, there we go. I'm kind of out. I've kind of done with legendaries for a little while. It's been a crazy bit of a ride. I'd love to know how you guys have done with legendaries and whether you are thinking the same thing. We going forward are going to be exploring a lot more of Shadowlands. Just today on stream, for example, we started finishing off all of the small little things of professions that we needed to do, just to kind of tick those last boxes and make sure that we're ready and prepared for any changes that come in the future. But yeah, so I'll leave you with that, guys. I hope you enjoyed that. I hope you can sort of take some advice from that. Big thing, I suppose the final thought would be, if you've got enough gold, it's perfectly acceptable to stop making gold for a while and do some other things. That's what I'm going to be doing, and I'll hope you enjoy the ride with me. We'll be streaming once again tomorrow. We'll be streaming every single day just as normal. That's not going to change. We'll be doing some other stuff than we usually do. Maybe some stuff that's not considered goal making. We might even be playing some other games. So guys, I'm going to leave it there for today. I hope you enjoyed this video. Hit the like button if you did. Subscribe if you're new around here, and I'll catch you guys next time. Peace!